right, so we've got the engine now. It's completely built as far as we can get it built before putting it in the engine bay, I guess. And we're all set up. So first we got to get because we can't get the flywheel on until we get the engine off of the stand. So we're gonna get this up in the air, get the flywheel on, get the clutch bolted on. Hopefully that goes smoothly, and then we're gonna get this dropped in. I don't see anything else hanging us up. We're using some eye bolts through one of the alternator brackets and one of the holes in the block down there. And since these engines do sit sideways,
it'll turn into the correct side.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Should. You wanna just push this under there. There you go. That's good. I'm gonna move this out. Alright, so we thought we had the clutch alignment tool and I don't. So we're making our own. I shoved a 1/4 inch extension into I think like a 16.5 inch drive socket. 1/4 extension fits perfectly in the throwout bearing there. And then we have a little electrical tape to make up just a little bit of the difference. There we go. So it's not perfect, but should work. I mean, we can honestly just test it when we do with the transmission real quick before we install the engine, just to see if it'll
all go in together.
Spline, yeah, because we don't have the transmission in yet.
Yep.
There's those. These are 13. Get this on. And then we'll just line it with the pins. Nope. There we go. Does have a certain way it goes. So our makeshift clutch alignment tool worked pretty well, actually. We're mocking this up because I don't think it's gonna be as easy to get the engine transmission combo into the car. So we're going to take it back off. We want to make sure it all fits and make sure our hardware. So we had all the hardware for it. So we're gonna pull it all off, put that to the side, and then when we go to put the transmission, we know what we have and we can just stick it in there and not have any issues and trying to guess and fumble with things. We're just guessing that's going to be the easiest. I mean,
it could be a whole nightmare.
It could be the worst idea ever. So we will find out. Yep. That's it. Cool. We didn't the distributor.
No, I was like being mindful of it too. I mean, I was touching it just so it wouldn't like put my hands. I figured if it hurt my hand, it's gonna hurt the thing more. So here we go.
That wasn't as bad as I thought. Now it's getting the transmission in.
That was oddly very easy for such. I mean, it's a small engine, but it's also a small car, right?
Yeah.
Man, I gotta say, like, what you did here with I was a little skeptical of the gray, if I was being honest. I was like, it's kind of whatever. But like now seeing it all in there, especially since you polished this stuff out, it just looks so sharp. God, that is at an angle. I don't know if you guys can see that. I mean, you boomer heads all know, but man,
very much
very angled.
Yeah, you won't find many 4-cylinders that sit this far over. It's almost as if they took a V8 and cut it in half. This way.
We did have to take the fan off. I don't know if you guys saw that yet, but just to work it in front to back. I mean, there's like a decent amount of room with it off, not so much with it on.
Yeah.
May 30th, we're leaving for Arkansas.
Yeah.
So
we got to be there June 1st.
Yeah, so June 1st.
All right, everyone. We have one engine in, one mustache gone, and we're ready to put in the transmission. So we have the engine now in, all the wiring, most of the wiring is done. All that's left is some coolant stuff, but we left that just in case when we're putting that transmission in, we don't smash the fan in the radiator. But everything else is hooked up and ready to go, and we're going to be showing you that later. But the main thing today is getting the transmission in, because then that way it's ready to go. Basically, we can start it and hope for the best. While digging through parts to see what was left to put on, we did find the clutch alignment tool. And it fit in perfectly. Yeah. So our little hack of the extensions and stuff worked out really well. And I just tested this and it fit just fine. But we got the transmission prepped and ready to go in. Daniel got all the hardware set up for us, the washers and stuff, so we know which ones go where, because it's all new hardware, so we want to make sure it all fit. And the transmission, as if you've watched previous videos, we rebuilt the shift linkage and got it all set, but we have our throwout bearing, our clutch arm in, the bracket, and we also have a new transmission bushing in there from Condor Speed. So it's just a polyurethane, very rigid,
compared to the rubber
one. It was fine, but I had ordered all this stuff a while ago, so we wanted to get that on there. And the new Guibo. Basically, our goal is we have the car on jack stands for hopefully the last time. We're gonna get this underneath. I'm gonna shove it into the engine. Daniel's gonna be up top and he's gonna quickly throw in a couple bolts just so it can get held in, and then that way I can get out.
You need two of them? No, because
it's the gear shifter, but that's no big deal. Like, we'll just do this. Open the back end. Yeah, just slide those out.
There we go.
That's it. Now it's out.
Is it jacked up enough to?
Yeah. I mean, it's about as high as we could get it. So.
Hey, I want to get that.
It's really just the shifter. So I think the shifter's gonna have to come out. The other one.
So after some fussing, we think we got it. I'm gonna come up here.
All the things put on to pre-plan this. Waste.
So we had to take off. Is it the master cylinder, the slave
cylinder?
Yeah.
I don't think we had to take off the gas pedal lever, but oh well, already did.
Yeah.
All right, so we could see under here, all these bolts are in. We got a sweet cross member back here. This is in, bushing, all that's set up. All that's left is to get the slave cylinder back in. Let me get a little shot of trying to get this in. See, this is the issue, is trying to get this into there, yeah.
Can you slide it through the other way, or is
there's the boot there, and then the snap ring to itself is gonna keep me from doing that. But we took this out thinking it would be easy to get back in, but now I can't get this back in.
There's a tolerance between the arm and the thing is like this much.
But the transmission's in. We'll tighten up the bolts, get that done. We don't need to take it back out, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Everything that needs to go on, I think, could go on with the transmission in. So last off, we were trying to get that transmission in, and then the next issue was trying to get the slave cylinder in. And the thing I came up with, because I totally didn't even think about this until just now, is you could take off, this is just a dust boot, that's just the pushing rod, and now it shortens it up. I was trying to get, this big of a piece. I mean, if I really pushed it in, but, so this should just go right in now. Let's hope. There we go. So I know this will work. We're going to stick it. We got this snap ring off. So now we'll just come in from the front side, but you still had to take that dust boot off because it won't go through. I think that's it, actually. That one's in. Ooh, long. But clutch master cylinders in. Okay, this is our moment of truth. We did prime the fuel system. Daniel had a great idea. We used the old trusty brake leader. And we just dumped fuel everywhere. Oops.
Not such a great idea.
Oh, jeez. Anyways, we used it and sucked all the fuel through the lines. Let me just... Whatever. We sucked all the fuel through the lines, so that way it's primed. The first pump we had did leak, so we replaced it. We had the coil disconnected just for the temporary, but it looks like it's pumping fuel. So we're going to try to start it. We're going to just make sure it starts and runs because we don't have any cooling system hooked up yet. And then make sure nothing leaks, and then we're going to put the cooling system on there and hope for the best. So Daniel's going to work the ignition, and I'm going to do the throttle so I can watch everything, but this is going to be... This is the first start, so we'll see. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Go ahead.
Ready?
Yep. Okay, well, that's a good start. Let's try it again.
Yeah.
And hopefully the timing's right, so we'll find that out too. You might have to adjust some things.
Ready?
Yep.
And...
Okay. I don't know if the pump is pumping. I'm gonna just dump a little fuel to be the pump, so which is fine. If it's just the pump, then that's fine. We'll get it. Yeah. I'm gonna kill the battery. I think it's a fuel issue, which I was
Seems like
scared of.
Yeah.
Now I put a new mechanical bowl, old new one, and I think it's still leaking, but it's definitely pumping, and it's gonna hopefully start. So I'm actually gonna be just running it off of this trigger so I can do the throttle. But whoo, okay. Everything's hooked up. I think we're ready. Let's do this. Maybe it's not gonna start now. Now the battery's dying. Why is it only starting once and then dying? think that's just the heat wrap smoking, but holy shit, that's it. So yes, this pump is for sure leaking, unfortunately. So now I'm going to scavenge and try to get one on order or something, but that's what did it. Everything is still pretty cool because obviously there's no cooling system hooked up yet. That sounded pretty mean. I mean, it did that kind of early, but this actually idled. We could bring down that a little bit. I had it turned up just so we could try and get it to sustain a little bit. Also, I'm gonna just run a little more because I don't think it's gonna fix it. But sometimes these pumps, when they're dried out, they're gonna leak until they get wet again. I don't think I'm making that up. I don't know. Oh. Do I want to start it again? Yes. Let's see it again. I'm just using this, and I know that stuff works, so I just wanted to. Go. Okay, yeah, we need to get this buttoned up. What's up? All right, as you see, the car is now running. It's even in a different spot in the garage because we pulled it out, pulled it back in.
In hopes that everything goes well in the buttoning up, so we'll be able to pull it in and out of the garage more easy.
Yeah. It's, as you saw, we got it running. We failed the first time.
Yeah.
The second time, I had thought through some more stuff, and unfortunately Daniel wasn't here because I got excited and wanted to see if it ran. But the biggest issue is just our fuel pump. Yeah. Come to find out, the one I got from a friend of mine, it leaked, but after about a minute of it running, it stopped leaking. So I think all the gasket just kind of got swollen back up with fuel and it stopped leaking. But that was our biggest issue, was the pump. Truthfully, the Amazon $100 carburetor actually has done great. I've done very minimal adjustment on it to get it to idle.
Once we get it on the road, we'll know more about how good it actually is. But I mean, I think if it can keep the car running, idling, and then throttling it out as we've been doing, it doesn't seem to be stuttering or any of that stuff. So I have faith in that carburetor. That's actually going to be
it seems like it's working pretty well.
Yeah.
And the other thing is just looking for leaks. So we did get the cooling system in. So the radiator, that was just a quick, honestly, it's just the radiator, putting that in and putting 2 hoses on because the rest was already done. We did find one leak just starting it, and that was located right down here is a valve for the heater core. Yeah, and so basically it's just a brass valve, mechanical valve that when the heater's off, you turn it off. That's older, and it was starting to seep out of there. So we took that off. We just threw in a piece of brass pipe bypassing it for now, so the heater core is constantly flowing, which isn't a terrible thing because it's extra cooling. Yeah. Technically for the cooling system.
We'll see how comfortable it is.
Yeah, it might get a little too hot.
And it's summer now, so it's like...
We'll see.
But we'll see.
So that was about the only little coolant leak of it running. And running and idling. The oil was leaking out of the valve cover also. Yeah. And I had a cork gasket. So originally we had like a fiber, a different material valve cover.
It was pretty thin too.
Thin, yeah. It wasn't compressible. it was just leaking really quickly out of it. So I threw this cork one on, and that stopped that.
Yeah,
so
it seems to be good now.
Yeah, definitely suggest a cork gasket on that valve cover than the newer version. Yeah, it's sealing it off very well. And again, that's just from it idling. So we're going to obviously get it out on the road, start driving it. Hopefully we work out any of the other kinks, like suspension-wise, things like that. We also still need to do somewhat of an exhaust because it's just a header dump.
Yeah.
And so we'll get some exhaust built. There's a muffler on order and also a plug for the O2 bung that's in the header. Eventually we'll put an air fuel mixture gauge on.
Yeah.
But for now we're just going to cap that off so it's just blowing out there. It's very loud. As you know, it was loud. On video it probably is just crazy loud. So, and everything vibrates because it's all basically solid mounts now.
Yeah,
but
I'd be curious to see what that feels like on the road.
Definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, race car stuff.
So yeah, that's it. It's
one step closer to Arkansas.
Yes.
We're right at the deadline. We have a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that this does well. We are, like I said, going to trailer it, but we want to do the drives there. It's really important to Mike and myself.
Yeah.
So we're fingers crossed. But so far we're looking good.
Yeah, definitely. Because this isn't a show and shine. This is mostly a cruising, going through the Ozarks and stuff. So we want this to drive is the big thing. But anyways, that's it. We got it running. The engine's, everything's in.
Yeah.
All that's left is build an exhaust and get it on the road. So thanks for watching. Super excited that after 7 years, I think, of not driving, of it being
we're so
put
close
in the back, I finally got my car running again, and it's this close to on the road and then to the show. So again, thanks for watching.
And thanks for watching this whole series. I know we've had some longer ones, and the response to this has been awesome, and it makes it fun for us to know that people are enjoying this build as much as we are.
Oh yeah.
So
And please, if you know what to, if there's anything that you want to know that we haven't covered, because there's been a lot on this, please leave it in the comments. We're always going to answer those because there's not, right now we don't have thousands of comments, so we can answer all of them. So please drop a comment in there of what maybe you want to see, because we'll make a video of it, or if you just have a cool question of what we used, ask on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. We're more than happy to. We'll even make a small video and post it if it's that big of a question. But yeah, please let us know, because there's a lot going on with this one, and we're just excited that it's almost done. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.